Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jason Wood, the VA loan guy. Today we're gonna go over the top 5 things about the VA loan, the basics that you need to know. We're gonna cover such things as what is the VA loan, how to qualify or eligibility for the VA loan, advantages for the VA loan, disadvantages for the VA loan, and how to pick the right lender for your VA loan. So to kick things off, what is the VA loan? So the VA loan is a government-backed loan, and the VA provides a 25% guarantee to the lender in the case of a default. And if someone were to default on their VA loan, then the VA is going to step in and provide 25% of that original loan amount to the lender to help make that lender whole. So who is eligible for a VA loan? So if you're active duty and you served at least 90 days during your active duty status, then you're eligible. So that 90-day period begins after you've completed basic training and after you've completed your school for your job, meaning you're actually in your unit performing the function of your job for 90 consecutive days. Now, this is during a wartime status. So since the first Gulf War, DOD has deemed the military in a wartime status, so it's been 90 days. When and if that changes, it will go to 180 days of active duty service. If you served in the National Guard or the Reserves, you have to have completed 6 full years of service to be eligible for the VA loan without missing any of your drill dates. So the points you accrue from your drill dates are especially important for your VA home loan benefit. So even though your command may try and give you a solid and not make you come the very last weekend of your drill service on your contract, make sure you show up because you want to get all the VA home loan benefit, and by showing up in attendance, that's what counts. And some surviving spouses also can qualify for the VA loan. So what are some of the advantages of the VA loan? Well, the obvious one is no down payment. So the VA loan is a 0 down payment loan program. The other main benefit of this program is there's no PMI, there's no mortgage insurance. On other loans, when you don't have a 20% down payment, you have to pay what's called mortgage insurance, and that's for conventional loans and FHA loans. But on the VA loan, you can do 0 down payment and no private mortgage insurance. This can save you upwards of $1,000 a year in expenses. One of the big key things that went into effect in 2020 is there are no loan limits, meaning you can finance any dollar amount with your VA loan, provided that you qualify. So you could finance a $6 million property if you could qualify for it, or a $4 million, and we've done them both. So that's one of the really cool benefits. A lot of people still don't understand that that effect took place in 2020. And easier qualifications. The VA loan is much more forgiving when it comes to credit score and debt to income ratios than other mortgage types out there. So for people who might be a little bit challenged on their credit or may not have quite enough income, the VA loan is much more forgiving in those 2 categories. And so we're able to qualify many more people to purchase a home because of the VA loan than if they were forced to use one of the other types of mortgages. So what are some of the downsides or the disadvantages of the VA loan? Well, it's not all rainbows and unicorns. There are a couple of downsides on the VA loan. One of them is the VA funding fee. Now, if it's your first use of the VA loan, the VA charges a 2.15% funding fee. And this funding fee is financed on top of your loan in most instances. You can choose to pay this cash, but most people will finance this on top of their loan. If it's your subsequent use of the VA loan, meaning you've already used the VA loan once, now you're buying another house, that goes up to 3.3%. You can be exempt from this fee, however, if you have a Purple Heart, if you're a recipient of a Purple Heart, or you have a disability rating of any number where you're receiving monthly income. Typically, that's a 10% rating or greater. You can be exempt from the VA funding fee, and also some surviving spouses are also exempt from the VA funding fee. The other thing to keep in mind is VA loans are for primary residences only. So you can't buy that really cool house back in your hometown as a rental property, or buy a house for your mom or your sister to live in. You have to be the occupant. You have to be your primary residence, meaning you have to be in near your work location. So you can't be in a particular base location and your home is 3 hours away. That's not going to work. It has to be your primary residence where you rest your head every night. So here's how you navigate this whole home buying process. The first thing you need to do is check your eligibility. Now, you can do this online, or you can reach out to your lender and we can also help you with checking your eligibility. The next thing you need to do is get pre-approved. You have to understand how much loan you can actually qualify for before you delve into the home shopping phase of things. House hunting. Now, this is the fun part of the entire transaction, is going out, taking a look at all the really cool houses. It's a good time to go check out open houses, but take your realtor and have them show you all the homes that fit your criteria in your budget. And next is making the offer. This is the most important piece of the whole transaction, is making an offer that suits both you and the seller, so there's terms that you can both agree on. While it's awesome to get a great deal, we got to make sure that we're not being too aggressive and kicking ourselves out of a deal by trying to get too big of a deal for us. Remember, there's two sides to the equation, so the deal has to be good for both buyer and seller. That way you win and you get the house. So choosing the right lender. This is a really important topic because so many people choose a lender based off little to no information. So one thing to know right out of the gate, that the VA does not endorse any mortgage company. So there's nobody that is actually endorsed by the VA as their lender. Now there's some tricks and some gimmicks that some lenders play out there. So make sure that you don't fall for that, because no one is specifically endorsed by the VA. But some of the things that you want to do to interview your lender is, first of all, find someone who is an expert at that loan, at that craft. I might know somebody. Secondly, you want to make sure that they have a clear and communicative process. You want to understand what they're going to do and how they're going to work with you during the transaction. Because once you're in the middle of your purchase transaction, the lender becomes the quarterback of the team. They're leading the charge. So not only are they helping you with the mortgage piece, but they're also leading the realtors on both sides of the transaction and all the third parties involved in making that deal come together. So it's important that you understand what their method is. Next is getting your offer accepted. The negotiation component of buying your house should not be left solely on the hands of the real estate agent and your weak pre-approval letter. Most lenders' pre-approval letters say little to nothing about your actual qualifications. So it's critical that your lender steps in and helps you to get the offer accepted. So one of the things that we do here with the VA Loan Guy team is we actually call the listing agent on every offer that's made, and we send them a custom video on every one that's made. And what we're doing is we're edifying the team. We're talking about the strengths of the team, and we're talking about the steps we went through to ensure that your loan is going to make it all the way to closing. We talk about the things that we validated and verified. And then the next important thing we do in that conversation is we share with them what our communication protocol is going to look like during the transaction. Believe it or not, most lenders are notorious for becoming Casper the Ghost during your transaction. And that's the last thing you want. If they're the quarterback of the team, leading the charge for everybody, communication needs to be utmost importance. So they need to have a clear and concise plan laid out in front of you of how they plan to communicate with not only you, but all parties involved in the transaction, so that this can go seamlessly and smoothly for you. In fact, one of the #1 reasons for real estate lawsuits in residential real estate is breach of contract. That's by not meeting the deadlines in the purchase agreement. And if your lender is the quarterback of this whole process, you need your lender to be making sure they hit all the marks, all the dates within your contract, or you potentially are liable not only for a lawsuit, but worst case, you could be losing the house that you fell in love with and envisioned you and your family in. So you definitely want to make sure that you're selecting the right lender for those reasons. In summary, the VA loan is a powerful tool for service members and veterans. It allows more people to qualify for buying a home because it's more favorable terms. It's a 0 down payment loan, which means there's also no private mortgage insurance. So for most loans, you need more than a 20% down payment to avoid mortgage insurance. You don't need that with the VA loan. And the VA loan allows you to finance up to the sky limit. There is no limit on the loan amount for the VA loan. So if you have questions, would like some help getting your eligibility or understanding how much loan you qualify, see the links below, and myself and my team will be happy to help you out.